Hello, everybody, and welcome back for our fourth and final round of our first week of the Premodern Showdown Series 6. I'm Michael Hoyp. I'm joined once again in the booth by Aaron Dix. How's it going, Aaron?
Great. So excited.
Yeah, this is a matchup that I think everyone is excited for. It. Lanny versus Michael, like this is just a matchup. We know these players from the Spy Colony podcast. There's a lot of friendly rivalry here. It'll be fun to see. It'll be interesting. I kind of wish we could just have the sound on for here and just listen to their banter
Oh
the
my
whole time.
gosh.
But
Yeah.
I think we kept the people waiting long enough. Let's quick go over the decks and
Sure.
let's jump down to the match. So Lanny has brought a mono blue Frantic Storm. He's brought Landy Hoth, which is kind of a a mix of like Replenish and an Oath of Druids
Yeah.
deck. It's pretty interesting, something that I haven't seen too much. But and then his favorite Growtog deck, while Flores has brought the Rock, Red Green Goblins, and then Burn. So like real like standard
Hmm.
like I mean decks you think of pre-modern.
Yeah.
I mean
That's
maybe
pre-modern year one.
maybe if you switch the Rock out with something else, then like but definitely some like top decks. So
Yeah.
Lanny banned the Red Green Goblins deck for Flores, and Flores banned the Landy Hoth. So do you want to make a prediction on what the players are playing?
Ooh, I'm really hoping to see. So Lanny's not on a lot of red hate in Growtog. I would love to see Mike play. I think Mike will play Burn here. And I think because of that and the fact that he's on less hate right now, I think Lanny goes Storm.
Okay. Uh, I will jump over. So our first deck we are seeing, Lanny is playing the Frantic Storm list.
There you go.
So this is not a deck that we've seen too much on stream. It had a short stint of popularity. I picked it up and I had a lot of fun with it too. But Lanny's been kind of bringing it back to the lab and testing it,
Yeah.
and I think he's enjoyed it. But the basic idea of the deck is to get a card, whether it's Sapphire Medallion or Helm of Awakening in play. That will reduce the casting cost of all your cards at least by one. And then like combination of like Cloud of Fairies and Snap are both like cards to add to the storm count and add mana. And then Meditate or Accumulated Knowledge are card draw. And Frantic Search is also card filtering. And then eventually you're going to have like Brain Freeze plus like a Merchant Scroll and then another Brain Freeze. And you're just going to mill your opponent out.
Yep.
I will say I looked at this list and compared to what I had seen in the past, the major difference is Lanny's playing 22 land when I think it was pretty standard to play like 17 with
Right.
Lotus Petals, and two of the lands are Lotus Veils. So it's a land that like taps for multiple mana. So that with like Frantic Searcher, I mean, I honestly don't even
Yep.
know like the actual text of Lotus Veil, but it adds multiple mana. So
Yep.
that with the combination, and so we'll see how Lanny can pilot it. He will be
Yeah.
up against. Oop, he will
Be
be up
Burn. Be Burn.
against.
Come on. Don't be afraid, Mike.
He will be up against Floris's burn list.
Nice.
Yes, so deck that Flores loves. Very solid pre-modern choice. There's nothing too fancy going on here. I will say one thing that stands out: there are three Ursa's Bauble, so I don't know how you arrive there. I guess
He's big on this. He's big on the 20th land and three
okay.
baubles.
All right, so that's the theory. Okay.
Yep.
I will note one thing that seems interesting in this matchup is one of Lanny's engines is having Cloud of Fairies and then snapping that Cloud of Fairies. Uh, just like a Mog Fanatic staying in play, or it could be like a
Yeah.
Grim Lavamancer, like complicates that by a lot. So it'll be
Yep.
interesting to see that tension throughout the match.
The
But
the fact that Mike gets to play so much instant speed, just about everything in his deck is instant speed, really makes the storm player think about their sequencing. Lanny's great at sequencing though, so this is going to be awesome.
okay, I have our players ready. I'm going to go send them a message that they can begin. We're going to kick things off. I do believe that Lanny won the die roll, and we will see if that plays to his advantage. So that's Burn is definitely a fast deck, and that extra half turn could be very important for
Yeah.
Lanny. There are ways that Lanny can win without using the Cloud of Fairies. I mean, Mike is likely to have creatures of his own in play, so a card like Snap can
Like,
target.
yeah, like that Grim Lavamancer.
Yep, so he likely will have targets of his own. It also could just be used as a way to interact. I mean, like, if it comes to it, if you have to snap a ball lightning, that might be able to give you some time. All right, so life totals are probably going to be moving quickly here as Lanny goes down to 19 from a Grim Lavamancer attack. It's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, you got to leave that mana up. Either play threats to the board or leave the mana up to threaten bigger damage.
So Lanny's going to cycle a Cloud of Fairies, and then interesting that like Flores doesn't have. I mean, he doesn't have any other one drops. He doesn't have Jackal Pup or Mog Fanatic. So not a hand where like he's applying a bunch of pressure to the board. So it might be more of a burn heavy hand. But I think that actually is probably more advantageous for Lanny. Though there are situations. I mean, like if he has a card like Helm of Awakening, I guess there's really not that. I think Incinerate might be the only card that like actually casts colorless. Right? Are there other burn spells that like that Helm of Awakening helps for?
Just the Incinerates, Vortex Scroll.
Okay. All right. Well, it's just funny because like usually against like aggressive decks, you think like Helm
But
of Awakening, oh, you can't play that early because it'll help
yeah,
them develop
Incinerate
so
it
much.
feels real good about.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, end of your turn takes 6. 13 already, you're really in the danger zone. if this is Ball Lightning Fire Blast here, you're scared. Instead, he just lets him untap.
Yeah. So Lanny does run out the Helm.
It's funny. These guys are such great friends, but nobody in this competition wants to beat each other more than these two.
Well, it'll be interesting to know if they had prepared together because obviously they do a lot of stuff. If that was part of discussions, and I think they probably have some idea of what decks they're going to bring, at least a few of them, but probably not all of them. So it'll be interesting to see if that was something that they had talked about before. But Landy's going to kick things off. He's got a mana counter and a storm counter. I assume the mana one is the blue and the black one is the storm. He's going to start with Frantic Search, so that's going to draw 2 cards and then untap 3 lands. He's going to have to discard 2 cards, but because of the Helm of Awakening, he's going to net a mana on the spell.
Oh, okay. So we're going for it.
Yep. So the Meditate does cost 2 mana, but because he did have a floating mana because of that Frantic Search, so he's got 2 available mana. The nice thing about the Helm of Awakening already in play is it allows you to cast like a second Helm or a Sapphire Medallion just for 1 mana, which can come in certain tight spots. Because there's certain like choke points of when you're going off. Of sometimes you get caught up, but if you have 2 of those effects in play, then you're definitely sitting pretty. So Cloud of Fairies gets added, and then another Frantic Search. So Cloud of Fairies again, like when it comes to play, you untap 2 lands, and because it costs 1 less, it generates a mana. So we're at Stormcloud 4 because there's 2 Frantic Searches, Cloud of Fairies, and a Meditate.
Oh,
Lanny, yeah, he's kind of looking at his cards. I mean, if you're passing the turn, you
tank
can't.
time. Yeah, no, he can't. He can't pass the turn. He's got to.
Yeah,
he's got to go for it. He's fully in the danger zone. Mike is gonna. Okay.
All right. So Lanny is showing his hand. He's got a Merchant Scroll and then 3 Brain Freezes.
Yeah. So take 2, and
this Forest
take 6. Go to my turn.
Wait, this is because Mike is able to kill Lanny during his upkeep.
What?
Because so
yeah, it doesn't matter. He passes turn, and Mike murders him.
Yeah, I mean, like he had enough to mill him out. He had a million storm and like a million brain freezes.
So
So Flores had to have enough burn in that spot.
well, he just took 6, 7, 8. So now he's got to do 3 more. Does Mike have nothing else in his hand? And he's got it. I mean, he's got all the cards in the world in his graveyard. Okay, take 4.
Well, he needs another spell. He
No, he's
dealt.
got ring. He's got
He was
ring
at
and.
okay. So Lanny was at 13. He took 8 at the end of turn, right?
I thought he was at 11.
No, I had him at 13. Oh, the lava dart. Lava dart gets milled.
Yeah.
Lava dart made it because
Yeah.
he was at 13. He took it was 2 bolts, two bolts and a lava mantra activation. So that was
Got it. Yeah.
that was
dart.
8. So he's down to 5,
you darted.
and then he untapped and then used both the barbarian ring and the lava mancer. That was only 4, so Lanny would have been at 1. But there's the one copy of lava dart that's in Flores' main deck, and he had a mountain to sacrifice it. So
yep,
lava dart doing work.
Lava dart, the single lava dart, getting there. Oh, that's some vindication for lava dart against Lanny. I love it. This is great.
So first game goes to
chat.
Flores.
Get those questions ready for Lanny.
Yeah. And then we'll jump over to the deck profile. We're first going to look at
plot armor for lava dart. Amazing.
Yeah. So we're looking at Flores. There are 3 more copies of lava dart, which actually I think does have some merit. I mean, I guess it depends on if you think it's worse than some other card. There's 1 red elemental blast, 3 overload, 1 sulfuric vortex, 4 price of progress, and 3 pyroblasts. So cards you could consider lava dart, the blast, overload.
Yeah, so I think you take out vortex and scrolls because they're not fast enough. I think you want to go in on blasts first, and then an overload. How many blasts does he have?
He has 4 total.
4 total. Honestly, I just probably take out the slow cards.
I think bringing in a second lava dart has a lot of value. Like, I mean, like there's a limit to like how many mountains you think you're gonna have to sacrifice, but like if Lanny has to mill you out, just having like 2 to 3 free points of burn, I think is very valuable.
Yeah.
And so let's jump over to Lanny's list. Chad has asked if Lanny has Words of Wisdom, and so that's a way to like each player draws 2 cards, and it's at instant speed. And so it's a way to like win when your opponent's like tapped out. No, he does not. So a lot of the other lists that I had seen have a couple of copies of Cunning Wish, and like they like go through their deck and they have a Words of Wisdom in their sideboard, and they get that. Lanny has opted not to have that Cunning Wish package, and his sideboard is like a lot of 1-ofs. But he's not playing Cunning Wish, and so it's not something that he has access to. So he has to pass the turn. I don't think there's a way for it to make all of this cards. Yeah.
With all of this bounce in Lanny's deck, do you consider taking out Ball Lightning because you don't want to tie up 3 mana?
That's definitely something like, and I mean, like Lanny's gonna have Snap and like
right. He wants to use Snap as a mana engine.
Yeah,
but
I would go through Lanny's sideboard real quick. Yeah. There is a Chain of Vapor, another Lotus Veil, a Divert, an Unsummon, 2 Arcane Denial, 2 Factor Fiction, Hercule's Recall, Counterspell, Prohibit, Mana Short, Rushing River, Repulse, and Misdirection. I think you bring in Misdirection.
Yep.
Maybe. I don't know if you bring in Divert.
I think you bring in. I think you just probably take out the Mana Short.
Mana Short. There's a copy of Repulse that I think it's a little too slow. So I bring in Misdirection.
And then the.
I don't know.
Either one of the bounce spells. You slow it up.
Yeah, so it doesn't look like Lanny makes like significant changes for his sideboarding. So we'll jump back down to the match. It looks like the players
Yep.
are getting close to finishing mulliganing. Yeah, but I mean, that game was razor close. That last
Yeah.
game that
Yeah.
Lanny waited for what he thought was the last possible moment, and I mean,
You just don't have a lot of time.
well, and I mean, we could kind of tell, like when I said that, like, oh, Flores isn't committing anything else to the board. It's probably because he has a burn heavy hand. I mean, Lanny can make that conclusion too. But I mean, in general, it's the burn hand does not always have that many burn spells. Like sometimes they just draw a land or two in the first 2 turns, and they don't have that ability to deal all that burn damage in that end of turn.
Right.
So, I mean,
yeah, he did have 3 bolts and incinerate and the rest, so felt pretty good. And now, he's got his ideal 1-drop against this deck.
I don't know. They're like Mogfanac does something more that the Jackal Pup can't. Just being able to prevent
Fair enough.
the Cloud of Fairies from being snapped. But yes, in general, the 2 power for 1 mana is something that Sly is always happy to see.
I just want him dead fast here. I mean, he's gonna beat you if you drag it out.
Yep, and Lanny knows, like, hey, I can run out this Helm of Awakening because it's unlikely that you're going to be able to benefit from it that much.
Okay, so Mike going full aggro here. Apparently, he didn't read slow playing the beatdown.
Yeah. Well, this is the different hand that we saw from before. Before there was only one drop. It was a Grim Lavamancer. This is the double Jackal Pup Grim Lavamancer draw.
No, exactly.
And so,
but he's not bluffing that open red mana here.
So I think, I mean, if we get to the same point, like, I don't know if, let's assume that Lanny passes the turn and Flores attacks once for 5, then you'd be at 13 again. Like, Flores has 1 less card, I think, than he did before. So, I don't know. If Lanny's on the same pace, that he still might be okay.
I think Mike will be full. I think Mike's on the attack for 2 and leave the mana up and
okay.
Lavamancer. He's got a scary turn here, but if he gets through this turn, he's really well positioned. Rich, to me, I just think that he can't play a naked frantic search without a 1 mana counter spell in his hand right now.
Well, I would say, like, a lot of Lanny's, like, permission is, I mean, I guess if you have Arcane Denial, it's only 1 mana, but like Counterspell, I guess Prohibit gets reduced. But
Prohibit gets reduced, right?
Yeah,
he's got to have one of the 1 mana ones because he has the 2 Arcane Denials in the board.
There's a Counterspell, but yeah, that one doesn't get reduced.
The counterspell is useless in this case. All right. 3 mana up.
Lanny just adds a Sapphire Medallion. So
go for it. Yep. So there's.
All right. So Flores is going to attack for 4, leave up a Lavamancer, add another Lavamancer, end of turn. Lanny's going to cycle Cloud of Fairies. Yep. I think Lanny might need to go for it this turn, just because if you don't, so you're effectively at 12, and then if you were to mill him out, you're for sure taking 4 more. Yeah, so if you're taking 4 more points of damage.
Yeah, I think you're passing turn like this. Yeah, and Mike does exactly what he needs to here, and a shock to it.
Lanny does add the Lotus Veil, so when it comes into play, you have to sack 2 untapped lands.
And he's got the double. He's got the Sapphire and the Helm now.
Yep.
sketchy territory. Don't forget how much of Mike's deck is instant speed that he can play in response to, Lanny's attempt to play something that untaps land.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just looking at if Lanny's trying to win the traditional way with brain freezing, Flores is going to attack this turn, so Lanny's going to be down to 6, and then he's going to have. If Lanny has to go for it, then Flores is going to have 2 activations of Grim Lavamancer and then untap and do 2. So that's 12 damage right there.
No, we're fully in gear 2, Mike. We're in sneak it in.
Yeah, but I'm saying Lanny has to do something.
No. I'm sorry. I'm responding to Michelangelo.
Okay.
Mike Phillips in chat says, time to change gears. Do you just stay in gear 1? He's fully in gear 2. He's trying to fit it in between permission. He's got some gas in hand and he's trying to thread the needle.
I guess Lanny needs to have snap, I think, because that at least could save him some amount of life by targeting the Grim Lava.
It looks like he's got one in there in hand. Here it is.
Okay. So this is in a combat? Okay.
Yeah.
So he's only going to take 2. But still, I think...
Yeah. Storm can win at instant speed, and benefits from Mike's burn flurry.
I'll say it's hard because a lot of times you end up casting Merchant Scroll, which is a sorcery.
Sure, but also Lanny just doesn't have a lot of cards in hand. There's not a lot of resources that he's using. He's got to see a meditate coming real soon. He's got to restock his hand.
Yeah, this seems very difficult for Lanny.
Yeah,
just the Grim Lavamancer is
he just doesn't have enough resources.
Yeah,
it's the thing that can happen to this deck, though. I mean, that's the fragility of Storm. The deck is great. It's well positioned in the meta right now. It's got a lot of tools.
And a turn Lava Dart, and then it'll get flashed back. We'll put Lanny to 6. Right? But Lanny should be at 6, right?
It looks like he's thinking of responding to something here.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean...
He's got a brain freeze in hand. He could just...
No, we see a prohibit, a brain freeze, and a helm. And just not enough resources. So...
Yowza.
Flores takes it down.
Doing burn things.
Yep. So I'll switch things around. I will unmute the players, and we'll jump down and listen to what they have to say.
Aaron and Mike, I put your audio back on.
All right.
You're up. Hey, guys.
What up?
That first game was awesome.
Yeah.
Did Lanny? I mean, I forgot about the Lava Dart. Did you remember?
No, I mean, I had him covered with just Merchant Scroll for Snap, Grim Lavamancer, Triple Brain Freeze.
Okay.
So I just did this thing where I kind of just assumed that I had it and just declared my intents.
Sure.
And then, so what happened was I tested this matchup with Metelsky, and I kind of figured it out in testing, and I just won a couple matches, and I was like, oh, this feels really good. and I was like, I think I actually just win this. So then I went into the bands, and then I was just like, okay, like let's just make this a little fun, and let Mike play Burn, and then play it. And then I tested today with Pablo Marcos, and then I lost every time, and then I was like, oh no. And then the other thing is that in testing, my testing partner obviously just scoops to combo, so they don't move to their upkeep step. So I never had a run out where I had to like think about what I'm supposed to do to cover. So I'm still new enough to Storm that like all the practice games, like I run into dumb things, and I'm just like, okay, I'll know next time that I have to have that covered. And unfortunately, I missed the Storm versus Burn primer where I have to determine it. Like I have to like get cover.
If his Helm of Awakening is a Sapphire Medallion instead, I think Lanny wins the game.
Because you use every point of mana, yeah.
Yeah, you use every mana and every card.
Grim Lava, the Incinerates were coming out.
So, yeah, that's like a calculated risk, right? Because obviously I can't jam on 4. But because I couldn't, like, my hand. I took I mean, it doesn't matter because I ended up running out the combo well enough. But I had like a weird one where I was like, if my meditate bricks on land, I actually can't continue, so I had to start with Frantic Search. But that's kind of beside the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured if you didn't do something to stop me from killing you enough, at the point that I drew the Barbarian Ring and you had played the Helm of Awakening, I knew I'd won the game already, as long as you don't stop me from getting an untap, because I knew your deck doesn't have any counter spells in the main deck, so the Lava Dart was going to kill you. That was the.
Well, I had to snap the. If I snap the Grim Lava Mancer.
Then you went on 2, right? Because I used every card and every mana.
Yeah, exactly. So that's sad. And then the well, it's crazy because you didn't even have a Fire Blast there. You actually just cast all your spells. So
well,
you could have been.
He had triple bolt incinerate.
Well, but the incinerate is only on because of the Helm,
exactly.
Right? So I thought my hand was pretty bad, right? So first of all, I thought he was on Gat, right? That's number one, right? So number 2, okay, my hand that I kept was 1 Mountain, Grim Lava Mancer, 3 Lightning Bolts, and an Incinerate. This is what's going through my head. I've already mulliganed once, right? And I'm like, I've never drawn 3 Lightning Bolts in my life. I wonder what this feels like. that was literally what I was going through. I'm like, hey,
gotta do it
for everything. And then I drew Mountain Barbarian Ring, and I'm like, oh, I think I won the game.
That was rough. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you got the nuts. Sometimes dealer has you, right, Mike?
Dealer had me tonight. I've won more games than I won basically in the entire PSS last time.
Yeah, I had to give it to him. I needed to also maintain my losing week 1 because the last time I lost week 1 of a PSS, it was
so it's all calculated.
Slipped into
I also wanted to, like, in the world in which it worked out for me, I also realized that in my lineup, Storm's never going to catch a ban. So I was hoping that a win here would put the other 2 burn pilots like in a universe where they would ban Storm. But now that they've seen this, not only are they not going to ban Storm, they're also going to remember their upkeep phase and all of their Lava Darts. So I kind of triple backfired my Metelsky playtesting, ban strategy, and outcome.
Aaron, would you have sided the other Lava Darts in as you saw in game 2? I had mine on.
I was thinking about that. I might have, because of all the bounce in his, I might have sideboarded out Ball Lightning.
I sided out Ball Lightning and Sulfuric Vortex. I think the 3.
Yeah, I would certainly board out every card that costs 3, especially if you're trying to hold up Red Blast. I was thinking ever.
Scrolls out immediately, Vortex is out immediately, and then you've got your Vortexes in off of those, and then you try to fit in Overloads and Darts.
I didn't side in Overload. I decided in Dart. Okay. Look, because like I don't want to overload his Helm of Awakening. It's the only reason I won game 1. We're friends.
But again, if that were a Sapphire Medallion, you lose.
That's true. Luckily, it wasn't.
Yeah.
So
I
couldn't ask for too much, right? I had to cycle a Cloud of Fairies on 2 to find my Accelerator on 3. So
in 2 games there, you were cycling Cloud of Fairies, right?
Yeah, I mean my deck is 4, right, instead of 3.
Yeah.
So I'm like a little bit more Cloud of Fairies rich than like a 3 fairies 3 snap list, but also like there's a hierarchy of priority, and one of them is to get some acceleration into my hands. Like the fairies doesn't do anything if I don't have an artifact. So
I also think
well, that time actually I had all the artifacts I needed. I just needed to meditate.
I think Dart's also pretty good against Cloud of Fairy snap. Like you can just spend the Dart early, and then it's just waiting in the graveyard to stop a snap.
Yeah, I was never gonna snap. I was never gonna snap my own fairies, right? I was only ever gonna snap targeting your creatures. The double jackal pups, like the all creature start is too good, right? Because it's just so mana efficient. If you just have burn, then you can one and I can like wedge some counter spells in. But if it's just like jackal pup, it's like, well, the first jackal pup did 6 damage to me.
Exactly.
My second game hand had 3 jackal pups. I never played the third one because I wasn't sure they would ever get attacks in. Like as you saw, like my second jackal pup even got snapped. However, I figured if I have any number of untapped Grim Lavamancers, those guys are going to be worth a shitload of damage when it is like I don't even have to
library.
Yeah, like when library becomes graveyard, then those guys are worth way more damage than jackal pups because I might not get to the attack phase. So I could have played out 3 jackal pups and I never even cast the third one. So
I'm kind of glad I lost on the play in the sideboard game though, because it makes me think I would have guaranteed the loss on, like, even if I didn't blunder, I would have guaranteed the loss on the draw because it's just never happening on the draw. And then
my game 2 draw was too good. I had 3 jackal pups and burn cards.
Yeah.
Like it was.
Lanny, did Lava Dart have some plot armor?
Against me, yeah, because
Lanny's been ripping on Lava Dart, and he's just like, I can't believe your burn deck is so bad. You have Lava Dart in the main deck instead of the beautiful fourth Sulfuric Vortex. It was the only reason I won the game.
That is true.
Would Sulfuric Vortex have been really bad there?
Yes,
just asking for a friend.
I would have had an opponent at 1 life.
My deck notably doesn't like contain anything to like block jackal pups or like get onto the board, but it's definitely better here than any card costing 3. It's better here than Ball Lightning.
Yeah.
So
I think Lanny threw me this one out of pity for PSS 4, and like there's nothing that's gonna convince me otherwise.
I was planning on falling back on that, right? Like it's either like
it's
a great win or it's a throw. So like I always emerge unscathed. But once again, I did not put myself in the universe where I would miss, like when I would just like miss the thing. But I'm only human. I'm like on a total skid. I like punted. I've been playing Alvaro's Contamination deck, and I like punted 2 matches with that, and I'm like, well, that's because I hate this deck, right?
I'm so far behind on content. I haven't watched your Replenish video or Fran's Replenish video. I'm so far behind.
So, Mike, I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
Are you completely incapable of bringing 3 good decks to the PSS? You had to.
Yeah.
He
brought 2 good decks.
I was thinking of playing Red Green Oath as my 3rd deck. Then I would have just had Team Wooded Foothills. But then I would have had Oath of Druids. So Lanny's just like laughing. He's just like, you intentionally didn't play Survival of the Fittest, Oath of Druids, Gusher Swords to Plowshares, and I'm like.
Yeah,
that was so clever.
Like the way it normally works is like,
or Dreadnought.
He calls me up and he's like, "Okay, so I took your advice," which definitely means that he did not take,
not in the spirit it was intended,
or understand the advice, or really digest the advice. Like Mike's like going in and he's just like Burn, Dreadnought, and Red Green Oath sounds like a pretty good lineup. I'm like, yeah, that's a sick lineup. Like 8 out of 8 people should have the lineup if it wasn't a show, right? Like if it wasn't a show, like 8 out of 8 would just have a mix of that. Like or like you just have some 2 awesome decks, and then the specialists can play their specialist deck because they probably play their specialist deck at that level.
Burn my specialist deck? What am I a specialist in?
Yeah, you would be a burn specialist because I don't think like you and Chris obviously would be burn specialists. It's just like I wouldn't play Enchantress, but like Michael Phillips playing Enchantress seems like a pretty obvious choice. And then like obviously with the HVEP, like you just have a lot of, like when I play Grotog, like I don't like it occurred to me so clearly when I was like playing this contamination deck, and I was just like every turn I was like, oh damn it, I should have, oh god, I hate this. I was just like, where are my like where are the cards that like put cards in my hand, like where are my counter spells and anything. Like I'm just like sitting there and just like trying to figure out a fraction of if a fraction of a 2/2 is going to win me the game. And then I also just like would miss stuff on board. But anyways, I think that yeah, if you the specialists on their deck like are clearly able to operate on that level because they also just know their deck. And then my favorite aspect of that is that if you're going to test against somebody, like if I hit up Michael J up and I'm like, oh hey, like test this Hermit Feb deck out with me, like he's not gonna pilot Hermit deck like McLean or Mike does.
Right.
So like I can't even get good testing to like even figure out if Grotog, like I've lost to McLean playing Grotog against HFeb. It was supposed to be a good matchup for Grotog, and I just because like I couldn't figure out my meddling mages, and I don't think I would have if I tested 1,000 games. Like he just worked me over.
Triggered,
and then
Lanny. Thanks a lot. Triggered.
Well, so and then my burn, and then I'm testing burn with Tom and Pablo, and like sure they can play burn, but like I said, none of them ever moved their upkeep. They just like hit the concede button before like counting the lava darts in their
Pretty sure
graveyard.
Aaron would have figured out the lava dart line. Like I knew I had won the game if you didn't do something to disrupt me on
Aaron's. Yeah,
on
I mean,
my,
Aaron's.
on my third
I
call.
actually thought he was lower because the life counter wasn't updating.
Yep.
So I'm like, well, he's just got it here. I'm like, and then it's like, no, he's got 1 extra life. Well, then he's got a lava dart. We're good.
Yeah, I couldn't figure it. I mean, I couldn't figure it out but luckily the ledger of his graveyard, like literally, you could just count it and just be like, okay, well, incinerate +2 from Grim Lavamancer +++, and then it's just kind of like that. I mean, the Grim Lavamancer was the most inefficient source of damage, right? It was 3 mana to deal 4 damage, so
that's exactly how much you needed to do, though.
Yeah,
it fit together.
Critically,
it fit together like Lego plot armor.
Yeah. No, I mean that was like, I mean, now every Storm player and Burn player should have an understanding. I did leave I talked about this in a video. I left the Hydroblast at home because like I wanted to just like use other cards to do the Hydroblast thing, so I could like have slots on my sideboard for other stuff that mattered. Because like just having this card for Jackal Pup and Goblin Lackey is just like super thin because you need like a bunch then.
Yeah, but
it's like if you just like don't have it in your opening hand, your opening hand already has to contain so many good things, and just like adding a Hydroblast like as another layer on top is just like,
don't get into a Goblins match. This is the only format where you can just declare you're never going to have that match. Okay, as long as you don't have Blue-Green Stasis as one of your decks, you can do that. Aaron, how many good decks do I have this year? It's up from 0.
2.5.
2.0.
It's 2.45. Thank you very much.
2.45.
It's 2.44.5.
Yeah.
The extra decimal
point. It's a rounding, yeah.
Fran is trolling you super hard in the chat. I just
he says Mike is so happy he waited 2 years to win a PSS match and he finally got it.
I did. Fuck it, we ball. Oh, Aaron, listen to this. You have no idea what my lineup was going to be until the morning of deck submission. It was going to be blue-white Flippy, Enchantress, and then blue-white 12/12. That was going to be my lineup. And Lan H was like, when you try to be clever, you end up with blue-green stasis. Right?
Blue-green stasis happens.
And Lanny was just like, how many matches have you ever played with blue-white Flippy? And I'm like, none. Like, how many matches have you ever played with Enchantress? None.
No, it's like how does your PSS look if you never have to ban burn?
Right. And then so then versus he's just like, you win the most meetups out of anyone. Why don't you just pick decks that you win with?
Like,
I'm like, oh, what an idea.
That just didn't include the Rock.
Yeah.
And like it basically doesn't include Goblins. Like it just would have been.
Goblins is pretty sweet. I think.
Goblins is good. But like it's like the Goblins.
I just wanted to give
like Mike doesn't
because he's playing the Rock.
Like I thought people would like that.
Oh yeah,
I thought that would be a conversation starter.
No, it'll be good.
No, it's gonna start a lot of conversations. You're right.
I thought when I submitted the ban before testing the Burn versus Storm matchup, I thought that I would rather play Storm versus Burn than Grotog versus the Rock.
I almost switched to the Rock because I thought you were going to be on Groatog.
Yeah, but if I wanted to draw, like if I wanted to if I wanted to ban Burn and force Mike into playing the Rock, and I wanted the Storm versus the Rock matchup, then I could have had it. I wanted this matchup, and I got it, and then I got what I deserved. So.
Well, thank you for your graciousness, Lanny. I know that you just threw me this one. Maybe I'll be able to earn my own wins later in this.
Maybe we'll switch places, and I will go 1-6, and you'll go 4-3, breaker in, and take down the whole thing.
I mean, you would still be a PSS top 8 competitor, just like I am.
That's true.
That's
true.
that would be it.
I'll expect my stamped card in the mail.
Hoip, you've said nothing. Do you have any comments?
Just sitting
back. Do you have any comments
enjoying...
about my deck selection?
No, I like your deck selections. I think that I mean, it seems like something I would pick, but maybe that's not a compliment. I don't know.
Every time you're telling stories about losing at LobsterCon, I'm like, oh man, I took the Rock as my deck. Like,
we talk all this time about how the format is moving so quick, and now you're playing decks from 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I'll have you know that my Goblins deck has 4 Pyrokinesis because I talked to Lanny. All these other Yahoos with their Goblins deck have 3 Pyrokinesis.
Some only have 2.
Right?
I don't want to.
3.
Yeah, 2.
Oh yeah.
Have they read Pyrokinesis?
Is very few. But
it's basically a modern card.
Your 1 card difference. It's incredibly significant. This change that you've made.
I'm also playing Wasteland instead of Rishodon Port, which is
to dodge all 0 of the Sabos web
accepted version, because my main deck is just Jared's deck from last year.
Yeah.
Which I have because Lanny asked me to test against Jared's deck, and I never took it apart. So that's my Goblins deck.
McLean's lineup is clearly the should win every People's Choice Award. Nick's lineup is super cool. It's all kind of cool. It's like every cool thing that you can be doing, but just like different, just like play goblins, no, play elves, just like play Terravor Oath, no, play Terragon, play blue-white Stiflenut, no, play blue-black Stiflenut. He's just like he's the Bizarro Jerry. It's the Bizarro Seinfeld crew.
I was thinking Bizarro World also. Like, well, I mean, he lives on a square Earth, and like he gets off on green kryptonite. Like that's
exactly
weird. What kind of kryptonite kills him? I need this for a future week. You need to shop at the kryptonite store.
Well, now that this match is done, we can chat openly about the rest of the weeks. So.
Oh wait, did you release our episode yet? We've been holding the episode.
Yeah. The episode is out. I actually released it earliest. Like I had it as a scheduled release for Wednesday morning, and then I woke up this morning and then I saw Mike Arnold just being like, only 4 of the competitors have been revealed, and our podcast episode talks about everyone and their lineup.
That's fine.
So I pulled the episode from air, but 150 people got to it before I pulled it, and then after the 8th person was selected, I put it back on. But yeah, I didn't want to spoil the surprise. So some people got spoiled. Sorry for spoiling.
No, it's
bad manners.
It shows that they're. You listen to the Spike Colony podcast, and you get all the juicy details.
You're not a little offended that you were putting your little images up in the civilian pre-modern group and not in pre-modern for non-idiots, aka whatever Lanny calls it now.
Yeah, there's a lot of groups. I mean,
there's a lot of pre-modern groups.
Should be on the Discord. It should be
they're everywhere.
Yeah, there's no giving Hoip a hard time allowed.
Oh, there is. I just gave it to him.
No, but that's you should be punished for this.
I will be punished. I have the
I think it would be acceptable to register a week 1 match loss as punishment for.
I have the Rock, Lanny.
No. I kind of like Mike in a single week managing to double his PS.
Doubles,
yeah. Yeah, I did that.
It's only up from here. I'm super excited for future weeks, and everyone's lineups are super cool. Everyone is super cool. It's going to be a good time, and I would never say a negative thing about Michael J. Hoip and all of the work and effort that he pours into this. So,
Hoip, what's your J?
James,
we've talked about this, right? I just don't remember.
Yeah. As somebody pointed out on Facebook, the J in Michael J. Flores stands for Judge.
People
Who
know
would
that
say that on Facebook? What a mean comment.
people know that we're doing a show, right? Like they they know that was a show.
No,
Like
Mike, that
Yeah.
was me.
Oh, okay.
I
I'm just
figured
saying, the amount of scuttlebutt on Twitter is like, oh my god, I went back and I listened to it 5 times, and I'm like, why are you listening to this 5 times? I put
Because
it
it's just
once,
very
it's actually great.
Tried, right?
I think it's like there's just so much that's happening. That's like probably my first recorded mental breakdown.
It's hilarious. I knew you were monkey tilting, and you're like, the fact that you got Jen on, I'm like, this is too good, right? So I'm like, I'm just gonna run with this bit super hard, and then like, it's just a show. It's hilarious.
I actually I was like sputtering so hard that neither myself nor Lan stopped and just thought to ourselves like, well, even if you could somehow put a disenchant on the stack, then you would pass priority back to the Tide player and they would just continue the combo. It's like
Hey, you
an
guys
hour,
on this
40
weekend?
minutes of content later, it's just like, oh, this is very unnecessary because even in Mike's universe, it's not.
Lanny, how are the downloads on that one? That's really what I was interested in.
Yeah,
it's like one of our most popular episodes, right?
It's definitely.
I happen to know people who have never listened to an episode before that downloaded it just for that.
Yeah, but it's a freaking show. Like
they were just like, I need to know about this. Yeah.
Then the thing what I was thinking
we were
was
talking
like,
about how great the content was.
I was obviously confused, and I would have never cheated against SWB on purpose. But the reason I wanted to run through it was, I was like, if Lanny was really going to source a judge for this, and this would be a great opportunity to explain this out for everybody who's going through this combo, which included me, right? So, like, I was like, oh, this is really a great opportunity. I can just lean into being the punching bag on this one, and
you're the heel.
People will like it, right?
We also found out, we have some unanswered questions like, what about Crows and Grip? But
it'll never come up. That's the beauty of it. It will never come up. But you never have priorities, so you can't Crows and Grip anyway, right?
Yeah, exactly. Of course.
The
real answer.
Now he gets it.
Yeah.
It's a show, Aaron.
he had it.
The thing that I can't believe is people going back and listening to this 5 times, trying to figure out if something that we record, edit, and put out was recorded, edited, and put out first.
Oh, good one, Mike.
Like, I can't believe this. Like,
I'm just, guys, I really wanted to say I really appreciated this one right off the bat. Like, what a way to start the PSS. Get this one.
Oh, it's so glad to have you here too, Aaron. I feel like we haven't gotten any clubhouse time, so this is sweet.
I can't wait to listen to this one because it's actually going to be super an honor for me to have the progenitor of Dixburn commentating on my Dixburn match. Dixburn. But I didn't draw any. Oh, here. Wait. So if people are still watching, this didn't get showcased. I'm using my good version of my deck, right? So I have my meme version.
No, good version. Mike, hold off on that. Let it be like this is supposed to be a surprise.
No, but look. So these is what I have that I can.
Oh, okay.
The Ole Bobbles. Where's the whiteboarded one?
There's the whiteboarded ones in the meme deck.
That's why you're playing 3 baubles. Yeah. See, Mike, that's the real secret. He had one white-bordered Ole signed one, and he doesn't want to play it
because it's in the good deck.
See,
right
there you go. We figured it out.
Vorthos, right here.
His secret tech.
My secret tech is I don't
want to play my white-bordered card.
It's in the meme one.
No, I get it.
My meme one has Brian Hacker gold bordered curse scrolls, but I know Brian Hacker IRL, so you have Brian Hacker curse scroll. Come on, man. That one's like that's actually the super unique version. I like playing that one better, but
All right. I think we're gonna let you guys go, but yeah, if someone is not aware of the Spike Colony podcast, make sure you check it out. It's with Lanny and Flores.
It's a blast.
Yeah, definitely worth listening to.
But send in your rules questions for Mike.
No, don't send in your rules questions. We're not going to do that again for a while. Instead, we're probably going to talk about Magic the Gathering strategy. Like for example, people
for
are
modern.
talking in our group about like Primers on the Rock. I actually think a thing that might be interesting to talk about is like the range of red decks. And people are like, oh, like, Lanny and I were talking about this because I have Burn and Goblins, right? And he's like, these are actually very different in their matchup profiles.
Yeah.
Right. And people don't necessarily know that. And I think that would be an interesting thing.
It's the same. Yeah, it's the same as if you had Storm and Elves, basically.
So. Anyway, thanks for having us, Hoyp. Can't wait to keep going.
Yeah, you guys will be back next week. So yeah.
And I'm coming.
Well, actually, I should
It's
say that.
not single elimination. Nice.
I should say that. Actually, next week I will not be here, so we're still figuring out how we're going to run it because I'm going to a comedy show. So we're figuring out things. We're either going to take a break or going to have recorded
it's
comment.
on a Wednesday night.
Yeah,
and it's comedy show.
Yeah.
Are you doing it at Endless Life Brewery where we have our Premodern meetups? Because they have comedy shows on Wednesday nights.
No.
You're coming all the way to New York to go to a comedy show where we do Premodern meetups?
No,
and you didn't tell us?
I'm actually good with the week
everything in the Midwest happens on weekdays because the coasts get the good stuff during
that's probably
yeah.
the
true.
weekend.
Oh, okay.
It's just a thing here.
I found out today that I don't own Treetop Village. So
Okay,
a week extra will give me time.
You
to
should
sort
see
stuff.
the list of cards that were requisitioned for Lanny's thing.
It's
But I
just
have
the
plenty
entire
of
Storm
Treetop
deck.
Village.
The entire
right?
Storm deck, and then one Crows and Reclamation and one Orm's Chant, and then I already own all of the replenish side of the Oath Replenish stuff from Mike lending it to me last year for the PSS. So those are still in my possession.
Right.
I don't know which cards I don't have anymore.
It's okay. I have it. I'm on.
I
top
do
of
need the Birds of Paradise back. That's my only set.
it. Yeah. Okay. I mean, those are coming,
Okay.
but I do need to borrow 3 Treetop Village. So.
I will give you the Treetop Village. I have plenty of Treetop Village.
All right.
Okay. Let's get out of here.
All right.
Thank you everyone for tuning in. But yeah,
Love you, goodbye.
I'll let you guys all know. I'll keep you updated in terms of our scheduling. We're figuring that stuff out, but I think the rest of the series should be pretty smooth and pretty normal. But it's just this first week that I had a comedy show that I was planning on going to. So yeah, let's jump over to our closing out screen. Aaron, is there anything that you want to add? I do want to thank you for coming on.
Anytime. You know, I'm never going to say no to doing anything with the PSS.
Yeah.
This is the most fun you can have in Premodern, and a great lineup this year. I'm super excited to watch the rest of it.
Yeah, it's always fun to do, and it's great to see. I mean, we had a lot of people in chat and a lot of movement and just keeping things going. That's always good to see people excited about stuff. I know we kind of just leaked the players. It was like a week ago that we just kind of announced the thing, and and so it was. Hopefully it was kind of a surprise for people, and so a pleasant surprise. I mean, other things on my radar, I still gotta finish the spring fling, so we have the semifinals and the finals still to do. But there'll be more Premodern to come, a lot of content. But yeah, I want to thank everyone who's being a part of this. It's a ton of fun to do this, and look forward to finishing out the weeks and fleshing out the story as we look to crown a PSS 6 champion. But that's all I really have. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Well, thanks again, everyone. But until next time, take care.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.